Hey, I'm Brian Van, sportbiketracker.com, and we're going to show you some of the things that we do to get our bikes ready to ride before we take off, starting with our Kawasaki Ninja 400. Okay, this is Max Van's Kawasaki Ninja 400. We're finally going to ride for the first time this year in the damn Corona apocalypse, right? We're heading down to Barber Motorsports Park with our friends from Sportbike Track Time, meet some other friends down there, and we are going to have a kick-ass weekend. We're so looking forward to it. This year has been really unique because of this global pandemic. Normally by now, we would have ridden multiple times. Instead of that, we find ourselves here at STG busier than we've ever been, taking more orders than we ever have, shipping more boxes than we ever have. So how that's changed it a bit for us is I haven't had the time to get the bikes ready. We've been working more at the shop than we have. Our son Max has been working full-time in the warehouse since school got canceled, shipping all of your boxes. He's an integral part of the warehouse team. So truthfully, we just could not peel ourselves away. So what am I going to have to do to Max's 400? We've already done some of it, okay? The kid crashed the bike the last time he rode it in the GNF racing at Barber, trying to chase all the experts down. Dad fixed the crash damage. That part is handled. But now we need to do some of the basic maintenance stuff. What I like to do before I take the bikes out, especially for the first ride of the year, is we're going to do an oil change. I'm going to take a look at the brakes. This bike was in amazing working condition before the GNF, so I know the brakes and all that stuff are going to be good. I'm going to want to flush his brake fluid out, change that, right? I'm going to clean his chain, lubricate the chain, make sure the chain tension is good. We're going to take a look at the tires that were on there. He's just going to run these takeoffs that were on the bike from the end of the GNF. And we thought it'd be kind of a cool idea to just show you some of the things that we do to get ready. Okay. Yeah, as you can see, we're in a different state right now. I took all the body work off the bike. I have the oil drained out of it. What kind of oil and filter do we use on our bikes? Well, we've been using the high flow racing filters. They have this nice little nut that's on there and it's pre-drilled for safety wire. It's just super convenient. Okay, the nut is a great tool to use when you remove the filter. I like to pull the seal off it, fill this with oil, right? When I'm doing that, what I'll do is I'll just literally kind of drop it in the box like so, upside down. It holds it because it won't stand up on that nut, and dump a little oil in it. Now, everybody loves to argue about oil. Which oil is the best? I got to use Rotella in my bike. We use Motul 300V in all of our bikes. The bottom line is this is just the best stuff. This is 100% synthetic oil. It's important to note that here in the US, right, to claim your full synthetic, it doesn't necessarily have to be 100% synthetic. You got to love regulations, right? There are several synthetic oils out there that are in fact 100% synthetic. The 300V is in fact one of those. We just had the motor rebuilt on Max's R3. That bike has over 3,000 miles on it. The majority of those are on the racetrack. And this kid loves to rapid fire downshifts. Like I watched it because the video that I have, the camera I have on his bike, it catches his tack. And I mean, he has mechanically over revved that bike hundreds of times, okay, going into the corners. It's just got the OEM clutch in it, right? No slipper clutch. Mechanically over revved it. Our guy, Jamie Hanshaw at Hanshaw Racing Engines, did the motor for us, right? And that's a really basic motor on those R3s, right? Like there's no Nicosil in the cylinders, all aluminum. He pulled it down. That bike has the stock clutch in it still. He measured the stack height. Guess what? It's still good. It has the same clutch in it it had the day it left the factory. And he said the wear inside the motor looked amazing for how it's been ridden and the conditions it's been used under. And he also attributed a lot of that to the oil that we used in it. So if you're curious as to what we use, I think it's the best stuff. Okay, oil level is full, drain plug safety wired, and oil filter safety wired. On the Ninja 400, I just kind of wire them right together, use a long piece of wire. Some people get lost in their safety wire and they need it to be like artwork. I think if the bolts are tight, that's the most important thing to focus on. My safety wire work is okay at best. I'm not going to get lost in it. You're not going to come over and be like, you're a safety wire maestro. I do just enough. Next up is going to be chain maintenance. This is really important on these small bikes. I'm running the EK 3D off-road non-O-ring chain, okay? This bike, simply, the O-ring chains rob power from it, right? And instead of running that 415 chain a lot of people are running, we ride quite a bit. I don't want to be throwing those chains out all the time. I feel like if Max gets beat because somebody has a skinnier chain, he should have just rode a little harder, okay? What I do before every weekend that we go out is I clean this thoroughly. The better lubricated it is, the longer it and the sprockets last, and also the more horsepower the bike's going to make ultimately. I'm using this Moto Chainmate still. I really like this thing because what this allows you to do, and we're out of stock of these right now, we're going to order some more. What this allows you to do is to spray these nasty chemicals and not get them all over your tire and shit, okay? I'm going to put a little chain cleaner on there. We're going to let this bad boy sit for a hot minute. I'm going to scrub it. I'm going to put the MPPL on it. I mean, I go all the way, and then the chain guard, and then I'll finish by setting the chain slack and making sure that's spot on. Okay, the chain. I've already got it wrapped up, okay? But to give you an idea of what I did, I cleaned the chain using that Moto Chainmate. I showed you guys that. And then I lubricated it and adjusted it. The chain is set at 35 millimeters. That's the slack setting for this. You know, and when we're at the track, I like to have a general idea with each bike of what is appropriate chain slack, because I don't want to be revisiting that through the way I change tires, stuff like that. So just a quick check for me on this bike is going to be 3 fingers pretty tight, okay? That's where we're at. And what I want to show you is a clean, non-O-ring off-road chain on this bike, okay? That's the net result of that. Like, that is just free power from a bike that is what, like just over 40 horsepower? Okay, last but not least, we're going to start off the season with brand new brake fluid. Okay, this sat all winter. Brake fluid can attract and retain moisture. You get moisture in it, it gets hot, boils off, and you lose some lever feel. Okay, so we want to avoid that. I typically, because Max is super picky, I usually just bleed the brakes every weekend that we go. Okay, notice I've got a little rag sitting there just to kind of collect any fluid that might spill. I'm going to cheat a little bit and use my power bleeder. Empty all the fluid out of the master. Come down here, hook that to the bleeder screw. Okay, now, always start with fresh fluid from a sealed container. On the Ninja, by turning the bars like this, it just gets the master cylinder much more level. So you can be a lot more accurate with your fluid level here. When it's on a severe angle like that, it's hard to gauge where you're at with it. Okay, so for that reason, I like to take the bike off the work table and have the opportunity to turn the bars. You can also do this the manual method. Use the speed bleeder bag too. It's pretty helpful. I'm going to run 2 cups through this. And when I come back, I'm going to show you the last little thing that I like to do before we get it ready to load in the trailer. Okay, last little detail. Lever feels really good. You know, he's pretty picky about his brake lever. So what I like to do, and you know, sometimes if I'm getting this done at the very last minute, I'll put them in the trailer with the zip ties on the brake lever like this. At the end of the day, all I'm doing is just holding the lever depressed. Gravity kind of works its magic, and any other little air bubbles that could possibly exist in there kind of make their way up in there. And because the piston is open, the orifice is open, it just flows up magically up into here, and you get a perfect lever. This is just a little bit of what we would do. Sure, there's more stuff with suspension maintenance and all that good stuff. We're not doing that for that first ride. That stuff is all already to go. If you have any questions, leave those in the comments section of this video. I'll answer all that stuff myself. I'm here to help you get the same result from your projects we get from ours.